All right, I got to give myself a plug right there. The pennystockquest.com is up and running, and planning on adding to that as things go by. But so today I had a little more time, and I made a few trades. I made one too many, I think, with EFOI, but I'll tell you about that why. But today it was a pretty solid $800 day. It was a very fundamental trading day because I've been trying to key only on earnings winners and letting price come back to support and seeing the volume show up or level 2 getting a little stronger and just trust it and just get in. So on EFOI, they had strong earnings, and this is almost the same pattern that I think it was VSCP or VCSP from the other day for the past couple of days, where there was strong earnings and the price action kind of followed the same. Strong earnings, pre-market, market goes up, opens, not much selling, strength shows up, boom. All right, so what I've looked at in the past and have seen is that your pre-market high can be an important support or resistance area for the day. So I entered. This is cool because I got in like 50 cents before Tim did, and this is the first time that I've been in a stock and he got into the same one. But today I was 50 cents before him, so I thought that was cool. So I think it's cool also that I'm picking up on some of the stuff. So, but either way, I got in for about 300 shares at 17.47 and got out at 18.11, and price came back down. There was some selling, but the pre-market high held as support, and so I got in again on a second trade for another 300 shares and rode this up to about the same area. I'm trying to look at made about 10 cents on that one. Things were crazy, and Interactive Brokers, I had a little issue with that today for some reason, and so I got freaked out and just got out of it. But again, price came back down one more time to the support area. There was some selling, but it wasn't selling off, so this was holding. So, but what I did not realize, I didn't see this icon of the conference call on my screen, because in the morning, basically this is what I was looking at. This is, none of this price action hadn't showed up yet, and this cursor or the icon was hidden over here, so I didn't see it. I mean, had I known that, I would have not have made this trade, because after this failed, I mean, why am I going to go long? Especially, if you had a failure, and there's really not a whole lot of selling. Price is holding, but this damn icon, I didn't see it. If I would have known this conference call was going to happen, I would not have traded this second trade or third trade. But either way, I got out when this selling started to show up, and I lost about I think about $100. I did it quick because I probably play things too conservative sometimes, and I did that later on another trade that would have worked out really well. But either way, but after the conference call, and this happened previously, I think it was CLF, I did the same thing. Or I got in early, made a few cents, conference call comes in, price drifts back down, and for the rest of the day, I think it was up $1. And that was just a couple of days ago. And here, it's still power. Well, yeah, there's about 30 minutes left to go in power hour. And as you can see, after the conference call, even so, the support area held. And here comes the volume. And, I hope some people are making bank on that. I'm teaching myself to let things breathe a little by taking half off at a profit target and just letting the other half work out. So I made a couple $100 here. I lost here, but I'm still positive for the play on EFOI. And by the time this conference call came out, I was looking at other things, because this started to look kind of look still wacky to me. But again, it's because of this conference call. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't see it. I should not have made that trade. What else did I pick up on today? And today was all, except for Gene, they were all dip buys at support level on previous earnings winners, letting the volume show up. And it was, you got to be so damn patient to let price come back to where you want it to come back. But there's so many earnings plays out there that, something's going to happen. It's just a matter of finding it. And I just watch volume a lot to see the action showing up. So what else did we do today? We looked at EFO, NPTM. What did I do first? Gene. Okay, Gene. Come here, Gene. I wasn't even watching this, but it showed up in the chat room. And I think I looked at the news, but I remember previously this thing ran like hell. And I'm thinking it can do it again. And people were starting to take notice of it, but they were talking about it back here. Okay, and this was when I was still kind of watching EFOI, and there's NPTN or NTNP, I'll get to that. But this is where people were talking about it initially. But 280, oh, damn it, hold on. Okay, we're back. So, where was I? 280, support, yeah. This was the run earlier when people were talking about it in the chat room, but I was watching other stuff. But, so when I had time to get back to Gene, this was not on my watch list. But like I said, it's a previous runner, and if you were around when it ran, you know what it's capable of. So 280 is where I noticed, support. I don't know what was going on behind here. Oh, nothing. But here was the top. Price comes back down. I think I tried to short it, actually. Coming down from here is another leg, but it held. I think I made 2 cents. I got out quick. Just because no selling. This is a dead zone to me, and this tells me that anything can start happening. I mean, this volume just dropped off, so people are trying to, I'm guessing people are trying to think what's going to happen next. So I started paying attention to it, and level 2 started firming up, and so volume spike shows up, and I actually got in. I think it was level 2 that caught my eye for some reason. But I bought on this bar. Let's see if I can zoom in to, yeah. Okay, I bought right here. So you zoom in, the volume bars go where they show up. So anyway, this thing can be wild, and it's done that in the past. I mean, did that a few hours, an hour or so before this. Let's see if it'll do it again. And that was it. But I went in heavy. I went in with 2,000 shares. Just because of this, because there was no selling off here, and price, well, you didn't see anything, but you had a price rising up right here. So I just, let's get in and see what happens. So this thing ran up, and I tried to modify something on Interactive Brokers with the web trader, but I was getting an error for a price or whatever, because I wanted to take half off and let the other half run. But either way, I got out when I saw weakness, and it came back down some, but and then it topped out up here. But either way, if I've mentioned volume in the past and trying to gauge what kind of volume it takes something to get something moving, and so here's the initial spike area or whatever, and here it is again, there it is again. But when you have these compounded off support, especially, that's a good, well, anything can happen, but that's a good indication that prices are might rise. But throughout, after this run, you see volume does not, it comes back, well, after the run, you don't see volume approaching this level at all. And so there's nothing but selling. So there's no reason to buy. I like to see this spike show up like it did right here, fall back down again, and then return volume to the upside. But, I was done with this, because this thing's too crazy. EFOI, the spread on that thing was crazy, but sometimes you have to deal with that, and if something's going to run, you just pull the trigger and get in. Another thing, what else? I did a little quiet. This NPTN, I was watching this. This is a newer earnings winner that I put in the blog that I was talking about. There's too much level 2 here. And so, where are we? And here we are. Okay, so earnings winner, earning good earnings and conference call all at the same time. Yay, you don't have to worry about the conference call later. But seeing this a lot too, you have the pre-market surge, the opening surge, and prices hold throughout the day. Okay, and this was yesterday. All right, this happens a hell of a lot. You'll see, I don't know, this is ABC. This really isn't ABC, but you see these ranges right here. Prices just get to lull you to sleep because nothing happens. But later in the afternoon, this is why you really have to pay attention to the volume. Volume starts perking up, and you'll get these surges later. I think Tim Sykes talked about these, but I think he's doing this on the short side, if I believe, when he shorts a stock. But this volume surge, this was the previous day, 60. That was almost a 70-cent move on a a $10 stock, and for the range, what, 9 to that's 70% of the move right there that it put in at the end of the day. But today, and I drew all my support lines the previous day or the morning, because you've got to have those in place. You can move those during the day based on the day's price action. And so I had these trend resistance lines in play. Let me see. I like to look at the 90-day and 1 hour if you can't find anything. So yeah, I was looking all the way back here for stuff also. Of course, going back to the yearly, you got to do that also. But okay, so I was quietly watching this, but the volume was crap. I mean, what, 2, 3, 1,000 shares, 1,500 shares. But either way, it's an earnings winner. It's at a support area. Let me try to see if this is going to work. It's the same thing, buying earnings winner on dips. If you've heard it, Tim has talked about it, and you just got to be patient. I saw this happening. I was waiting. And here it comes. And this was, what, 9:30ish or so. And so I bought, and this really killed me. I bought 960 at 963. So I bought right here. And this was going to be a low risk play, because if this was going to give, that was only 10 cents below my buy. And the next support area is 21. That's a little extreme. There's nothing there that's going to hold that up. So if that gave way, I'm out. But anyway, so I broke my rules about support and letting stuff come, play its way out. But anyway, I got in here. There's still no real great volume, but I saw, there was something happening. I've got my watch list and thinkorswim set up, so they're labeled per the strength and the volume. And so this showed up. It was moving towards the top of the list. And so I took notice. It's at support. Buy. Okay, tick down a little bit. And there we go. Price comes up about, almost 20 cents from my buy. But I'm like, no, I'm going to let this thing play out, thinking that we could get back up to this $10 area. And man, I'm at 963. It goes up to 980. It goes up 20 cents. And the whole range of move from the opening to where I got in was, what, 50 cents or so. And that's a 20. There was 50% of the range so far that I was looking at. And I'm like, no, let this thing run, because I've taken heat for it in the past, getting out too soon. And it comes back down, and I get scared because there's some selling come in, and I get out with like a 2-cent loss. And of course, it bounces back up to almost 90. Okay, so there's 30 cents that I could have had, and I got cheesy, and I left it on the table. But either way, I had a 50% range that I could have taken out right there on 20 cents, but I got greedy, so I got freaked out. Next time, you've gotten the major chunk of the move in the way or banked, take it. We're getting short on time. Last trade was, where did we get in? FLDM. I'm going to start talking fast. This is a previous earnings winner that Tim was talking about. This support line was from somewhere back here. Right there. That's all that was. That's all I had plotted. All right, and we had this volume spike happen. This is what got my attention. And there's no more selling it's a little below support, but support and resistance areas aren't exact. You got to give them some plus or minus of a move. If you put exact numbers, you're going to miss plays. So you have to make it a support or resistance area. Okay, so this fell below support, but there was some selling, but volume picked up. This is what I got noticed. This is what I noticed. I bought in at, I posted this, 10, no I didn't. Come on, right, 1057. I bought at 1057, and I took everything off at right around this area. I took half off, and then took the rest half on weakness because it failed. but it was about $800 day. It was cool. Buying earnings winnings off support with volume. Yo.